Hey, what it do to the entire crypto fam? Holla at your boy in the live chat. In today's show, Bitcoin holds $20,000 realized price as analysts eyes big moves brewing and incoming. And quoting Max and Stacy, we are El Salvador going to be in the top 10 most powerful Bitcoin mining operation in the world within the next 9 months. Also in today's show, we'll be taking a first look at the Bitcoin Tower in Dubai as the developer shares the initial design. Also in today's show, Binance CEO CZ says the recent big deal development with China historically leads to bull runs. Also, we'll be discussing Bitfinex partnership pushes crypto adoption in Latin America. That's right, Bitfinex announced a new investment in a Chile-based crypto exchange in an effort to boost crypto adoption across Latin America, as well as Bitcoin to explode by over 75% once it overcomes this critical level, predicts crypto analysts. I'll be breaking down his timeline. Also, breaking news. Ron DeSantis vows to protect Bitcoin during his presidential campaign launch. That's right, check it. In the 2024 presidential election, there will be a pro-Bitcoin Democrat, also a pro-Bitcoin Republican candidate, as well as the Bitcoin halving. And Max Kaiser says that Bitcoin is becoming the single issue that determines the 2024 election outcome. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. And welcome to everyone just tuning in. This is pod episode 1292. Today is May 25th, 2023. I'm your host, JV. And as you can see, yesterday was quite the correction in the crypto market, but we're finally back in the green. Bitcoin up 0.11% for the day, trading just above $26,200. We have Ether up 0.25%, but still trading just under $1,800. BNB, XRP, Doge, Litecoin, and Cardano all in the red and still correcting. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, the current crypto market cap barely sitting above 1.1 trillion with about 32 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Current Bitcoin dominance on the decline at 46.1%, with the Ether dominance at 19.5%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, AGIX up 15%, trading just under 30 cents, followed by Render Token up 11.5%, trading at $2.76, followed by Lido DAO up 4%, trading at $2.05. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, you can see we have a mixed bag of gainers and losers, with one of the top ones being RNDR, which is up 12%, and one of the biggest losers is Hex, down 15%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're still stuck in neutral with a 51. Yesterday was a 50, last week a 51, and last month a 53, all of which is within neutral. How many of you took advantage of this recent dip? Let me know, BTFD, in the comments below. And now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. And welcome once again to everyone tuning in to the live show. Check it out. Let's check out some of these charts. Bitcoin is at 10-week lows, but one longtime analyst is telling investors to ignore the panic. Quoting Philip Swift from Decent Trader, he says Bitcoin's performing well and as expected. Now, also, he said a lot of panic is in the market today. Bitcoin is currently testing the middle of key move averages, as reported, against a backdrop of traders' downside targets extending to 25,000 and below. So Philip Swift believes the Bitcoin can still return to as low as 20,000 in the coming months, despite remaining bullish on the higher time frames. And right here, looking at the Bitcoin one-day candle chart. Nonetheless, when looking at the realized price, the picture is clear when it comes to Bitcoin's long-term strength. Quoting him here, zooming out, Bitcoin is actually performing well, and as expected for this stage of cycle, a clear Bitcoin breakout above the realized price. The realized price refers to the aggregate price at which the Bitcoin supply last moved. It currently sits just above 20,000 at the time of this live stream, according to Look Into Bitcoin. Now, this chart shows that the cycle Swift refers to, these beginning each time the spot price breaks above the realized price line, and in each case, the real Bitcoin upside kicked in 140 days afterward, which ultimately is hinting that big moves are incoming. And another glimmer of hope comes from trader activity this week, as noted by Checkmate, lead on-chain analyst at Glassnode. Market participants are increasingly showing signs of exhaustion. That's right, Checkmate referenced the sell-side risk ratio metric, which is now approaching its lowest ever recorded levels. And despite realized price lying far below the spot, no one is interested in selling at the current price, he inferred, whether or not they're in a profit or in their particular investment. Quoting him here, this usually occurs when the sellers are exhausted on both sides, suggesting big moves are coming. Now, sell-side risk was last this low in late 2015. That's 8 years ago, at the beginning of Bitcoin's run to its previous halving cycle, all-time highs of 20,000 in December of 2019. And how many of you were far around in Bitcoin back then in 2017 when we hit that almost 20,000 all-time high back then? Let me know in the comments right down below. And quoting Max and Stacy, we are El Salvador. We're going to be the top 10 most powerful Bitcoin mining operations in the world within 9 months. Bold prediction. So let's recap on this in another 9 months and see if this prediction comes true. And now let's discuss the latest development happening in Dubai with the first ever Bitcoin tower, as well as a Bitcoin hotel. And then we'll dive deeper in some more of these stories here. So yeah, on the evening of May 24th, we have Salvatore, the developer of the forthcoming Bitcoin tower. He officially launched the project at an exclusive architecture-focused event by designer Simone Micheli. The private event was held by the Bella Restaurant Lounge in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And during the event, he and Micheli presented their collaboration for the Bitcoin Tower, which will have a version in the metaverse and a physical building. I'm looking more forward to the physical building than the metaverse building, just say. But anyways, in the interview, they said the project combined two of his passions. The executive has years of experience in real estate development and acquired passion for Web3 during the pandemic. Quoting him here, I spoke with many crypto experts, but with all due respect, they don't understand so much regarding real estate, and I spoke with many important developers also in the city, but with all due respect, they don't understand crypto. The developer said that because of this experience, he imagined a project that would match the expertise in real estate and his passion for crypto, and the idea for the Bitcoin Tower in Dubai was born. He said that he wants to project the project to be an open project, mentioning the possibility of creating a decentralized autonomous organization, better known as a DAO, for the project. Quoting him here, we will receive many inputs from the community because Bitcoin Tower must be an open project, like what Satoshi Nakamoto teaches to us. He added that having a DAO seemed very natural for the project because decentralized and decision-making contributes to making an electric experience for the future. Now the tower will have a virtual version, which will be launched in the metaverse, and a physical version, which would be built in Dubai. And while the location is not yet final, he hopes to get the approval to build the tower near Shaka Zaya Road, where the famous Dubai skyline resides. He also says that having a symbol like the Bitcoin Tower would benefit the region. The developer believes the project could solidify the UAE's leadership positions on cryptocurrency, and in addition, the developer highlighted it could provide a hub for the crypto community for those who live in Dubai and those who are visiting for the many crypto events in the region. Quoting him again, I have something that I think gives the idea of this evolution of real estate and revolution of the market of hospitality. Bitcoin Tower will be the first of a chain. This is what I dream. So there you have it. Massive shout out to Dubai and to the UAE as they are embracing Bitcoin. Quite the opposite of what they're doing here in the United States. But nonetheless, fam, now let's discuss what's happening in China, as CZ says these are big developments in the works. Binance CEO CZ says China Central Television recent focus broadcast is a big deal, which has historically led to bull runs. Quoting him here, China Central Television, which is CCTV, just broadcast crypto. It's a big deal. The Chinese-speaking communities are buzzing, and historically, coverages like these lead to bull runs. Not saying the past predicts the future, and this is not financial advice. So the broadcast, which aired May 23rd, covered security regulators in Hong Kong creating a mandatory licensing system for digital asset providers. And in a recent statement, we had Julia Liang, the chief executive of Hong Kong Security and Futures Commission, says that the clear crypto guidelines will help the industry sustain itself as well as foster more innovation. You need to share that with No Clarity Gary already. Quoting her here, providing clear regulatory expectations is the key to fostering responsible development. Hong Kong's comprehensive virtual asset regulatory framework follows the principle of same business, same risks, same rules, and aims to provide robust investor protection and manage the key risks. This will enable the industry to develop sustainably and support innovation. Now, the licensing system is set to kick off June 1st, which is next week, after a consultation with the industry leaders in February, which yielded generally positive attitudes towards the change. According to the SFC, firms that do not comply should plan to close their businesses. Quoting them here, the guidelines for virtual asset trading platform operators will become effective on June 1st, 2023. Operators of virtual asset trading platforms who are prepared to comply with the SFC standards are welcome to apply for a license. Those who do not plan to do so should proceed to an orderly closure of their business in Hong Kong. So there you have it. Hong Kong, let's freaking go. And it's cool to see that China is starting to slowly re-embrace Bitcoin once again, because as CZ pointed out, this has led historically to some massive bull runs. Now let's discuss more massive adoption across Latin America as Bitfinex is doing big things in Chile. Then we'll be discussing a 48,000 Bitcoin price prediction, followed by the latest of DeSantis supporting Bitcoin and what's happening over there. And then we'll dive into some live Q&A. And again, welcome to everyone tuning in. The digital asset platform Bitfinex announced a new partnership with the local exchange in Latin America as part of a larger effort to push for wider adoption in the region. That's right, Bitcoin game theory in full effect. Let's freaking go. On May 24th, Bitfinex revealed the new investment in one of Chile's leading crypto exchanges, OrionX. And according to the announcement, the partnership between the two digital asset companies aims to support local education programs along with financial freedom and inclusion efforts. This comes just over a month after Bitfinex Securities El Salvador was granted an operating license in El Salvador by the National Digital Asset Commission to issue and trade secondary assets via a platform compliant with local regulations. The exchange also recently sponsored a 3-week boot camp in Paraguay for women to learn basic coding skills. Latin America has been a growing market in the crypto scene over the last year and continues to attract attention from outside investors. And according to Chainalysis Global Adoption Index for 2022, Latin America constituted 9.1% of the global crypto value received last year in 2022. The region came in 7th for the largest cryptocurrency market. The same Chainalysis report highlighted that Latin America is home to 5 of the top 30 countries in the index, which includes Brazil, number 7, Argentina, number 13, Colombia, number 15, Ecuador, number 18, and Mexico, 28. Now, back in March, Coinbase announced service expansion in Brazil via partnerships with their local services and including round-the-clock customer support in Portuguese and easier onboarding processes. And last month in Argentina, the local securities regulator approved the Bitcoin Futures Index, which is reportedly a first in Latin America. And also in Argentina, a new partnership on May 19th between the stablecoin issuer Tether, USDT, and the on- and off-ramp platform Krypton Market will allow support for USDT transactions at Argentina's central market. So mass adoption. Let's freaking go and let's continue. We're taking over the world, starting with Latin America first. And as I mentioned, game theory currently in full effect. Bring it. Now let's discuss this $48,000 Bitcoin price prediction. We have crypto analyst Jason Pizzino. He claims the King Crypto can surge by double-digit percentage points once it rises above a key resistance zone. In a new interview on the David Lynn Report, Pizzino says Bitcoin is facing major resistance at between the $28,000 and $32,000 level. And according to Pizzino, Bitcoin could surge by nearly 80% from the current price when it breaches the major resistance zone, quoting him here. So $28,500 to around $32,000 is going to be a key level for Bitcoin to overcome. I suspect that when it does, you will start to see less of the bears and more of the bulls. Basically, comments from people saying that this thing has to go lower and we are going to see some new cycle lows. That will become less and less once we overcome this key, crossing here between 28 and 32,000. There's just nothing left for them once it overcomes this level. They will then be looking towards $48,000 as the next level. And of course, the all-time highs. And I like to point out that the yearly high thus far is roughly the 31,000 mark. So this analyst is ultimately saying once we can overcome that and hit 32, we're likely to soar on up to 48,000 above and beyond, as there's not much resistance between those levels. The crypto analyst says that going forward, Bitcoin would have a more sustainable rally if it appreciates in price by small incremental steps rather than huge sudden surges. Quoting him again, the more we go up in this little stair-stepping movements, the better that it is for Bitcoin because there is more stability in price at the lower levels. So we get this nice stair-stepping move up rather than this ridiculous FOMO, which we know is fear of missing out pump, that we see in those patterns. These are unsustainable. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Jason Pizzino. And to watch this video he did entitled The End of the Bear Market, check the show notes below the video in the description. And now for the moment you have all been waiting for, let's discuss the latest of DeSantis announcing running for president and being pro-Bitcoin, because now we officially have Kennedy Jr. running for Bitcoin as a Democrat, and he is pro-Bitcoin. in which he says, he made that speech recently at Bitcoin Miami conference. And now we have DeSantis, who just went out on a Twitter space with Elon the other day to announce running for president and also backing Bitcoin as well. And we also have the Bitcoin halving in 11 months. So 2024 is going to be very interesting, to say the least. So yeah, let's break down what's happening with DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, the current governor of Florida, has officially thrown his hat in the 2024 U.S. presidential ring and has notably promised to protect Bitcoin if he gets the job. I like to hear that. Now, on May 24th, Twitter boss Elon joined DeSantis and around 520,000 live listeners in the Twitter broadcast. How many of you tuned into that? Let me know, which was moderated by venture capitalist David Sachs. Now, as president, we will protect the ability to do things like Bitcoin, said DeSantis. He added there is risk involved with it, but the people interested in the cryptocurrency are sophisticated and can make decisions. You have every right to do Bitcoin. The only reason these people in Washington don't like it is because they don't control it. Facts. I mean, I know he's preaching to the choir here, but it's all true. DeSantis called those on Capitol Hill central planners who want to have control over society. Bitcoin represents a threat to them, so they are trying to regulate it out of existence. Facts. The Florida governor also hinted that the jurisdictional battle waged by the SEC and the CFTC over cryptocurrencies. We have Gary Gensler, the current chair of the securities regulator, has long claimed his agency has authority over the crypto space. DeSantis said, as Congress had never addressed cryptos, the bureaucracy, like referencing the SEC, has to just do it on their own and made it so that people cannot operate in that space. I just don't have an itch to have control everything that people may be doing in this space. And I think that the current regime, clearly, they have it out for Bitcoin. I mean, facts. He added if President Sleepy Joe is reelected for another 4 years in 2024, the regulatory regime for crypto under his administration will probably end up killing it. So just say no to Sleepy Joe. Now, earlier in May, DeSantis, as we covered on the show, passed the anti-central bank digital currency bill in Florida that prohibits the use of federal CBDCs as money, along with banning the use of foreign CBDCs. So much respect and more power to him. There is still a way to go before the U.S. heads to the polls in November of 2024. It's likely that DeSantis will face off against former President Donald Trump and others at the first GOP presidential primary debate in the 2024 cycle, slated for August. Other White House hopefuls have stepped forward to support the cryptocurrency. We have Democrat presidential hopeful Robert Kennedy Jr. called Bitcoin a symbol of democracy and freedom in his speech at the Bitcoin 2023 conference. Kennedy was the first president candidate in U.S. history to accept Bitcoin donations, and Bitcoin joined days after by Republican candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, if I'm pronouncing that dude's name right. And as pointed out here, so we have Kennedy Jr. and we have DeSantis, both pro-Bitcoin and both anti-CBDC. Who would you vote for if you had the opportunity to do so? If we were in 2024 right now, it was the presidential elections. Please do let me know in the comments right down below. All I know is this: please don't vote for anyone pro-CBDC, example, Biden, Trump, and don't vote for anyone anti-Bitcoin, example, Biden, Trump. If you're going to vote for someone, it would only make sense if you're a crypto enthusiast and Bitcoiner to vote for someone who represents the Bitcoin community and who is anti-CBDC. As we all know, CBDCs is the slavery and destruction of humankind, and Bitcoin is the antidote. And as Max points out here, and I think it's true, Bitcoin is becoming the single issue that determines the 2024 election outcome. So there you have it. Now, welcome to everyone just tuning in and everyone in the live chat. I appreciate each and every one of your support. Let's check out some of the comments. Bitcoin Maximus, welcome. Mike Well, Nathan Roth, Lazy Turtle. I appreciate the stats. You zapped me yesterday. I received 76,000 Satoshis, so much love, Lazy Turtle. Greatly appreciate that. And of course, Satwise Janks, you've been sending some contributions via Lightning Network as well, which is now, you can see the QR code on the screen. Maximus, Sailing with Twins, Sophisticated Fly Fishing was good. Eric Orlania, Jeremy Amos was popping. Good to see the fam. Bring Facts. Welcome, fam. What's new? Jeff S. He says DeSantis setting himself apart from Trump. Good move from Ron. I agree 100%. And again, anyone pro-Bitcoin is going to get the support of the entire Bitcoin community. And because Kennedy Jr. spoke at the Bitcoin Miami conference, of course, a lot of Bitcoiners are showing him love. And now with DeSantis as well, making a strong stance that Florida is anti-CBDC and being pro-Bitcoin, which he just announced in that Twitter space with Elon. So, good stuff. Did he have a big Bitcoin on his podium? No. So in my thumbnail, that is like, I don't want to say the word Photoshop because I don't use Photoshop, but that was edited in there. So he didn't do a public TV speech. He just spoke on Twitter Spaces last night. But there was over 500,000 people tuned in when he was with Elon. So that's where we got that from. Interesting how the halving is during the presidential elections. Now, if we can get people to vote for Congress as well. Now, do you think, isn't it ironic that the halving is at the time of the presidential elections? Do you think that was all by design by Satoshi? Let me know your thoughts, or do you think that is just a coincidence? How is everyone today? I'm doing fantastic. Beautiful day here in Puerto Rico. Lots of sunshine. It says on the weather report it's like 86 degrees, but with the real sunshine factored in, it's 101 degrees. And you know what I'm talking about. If you're in Puerto Rico and you got the sun beaming on you, it feels like, whoo. You know what I mean? But I love it. I love the sun personally. I much prefer a sunny day versus a cold day any day of the year. You know what I mean? Clean out the toilet, a.k.a. clean out Congress. Amen. How is everyone today? We're doing fantastic. All good. How are you? Good to see you, Bitcoin Maximus. What's poppin'? Good to see you as well. Yes, this is pod episode number 1292. If you're new to the show, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Turn on all notifications. Satwise says, damn, I just checked, and Jimmy Dore has 1.3 million subscribers on YouTube alone. Shout out to Jimmy Dore, and shout out to Max Kaiser. Max was recently interviewed on the Jimmy Dore show, and I just started sharing some clips of that this morning on Crypto Twitter. And you can follow me on Crypto Twitter. My Twitter handle is Crypto News. Yes. You know what I mean? Welcome, welcome. That's right, another day in paradise. Much love. Another day, a sunny day in the UK, says Maximus. Good to hear, as when I visited the UK, it rained every day when I went to London. But I was anticipating that, as they said, it rains every day. So good to see you having some sunshine about time. You know what I mean? Damn, that's a beach day for show, says Dankness. It truly is a beach day every day here. 65 degrees, says Maximus in Manchester. Shout out to the UK. Beautiful weather. Digital, damn. I buy regardless, dollar cost average all the way, says Maximus. That's what's up. Take advantage of it. Eric says DeSantis smells his own farts. Whatever you mean by that, sure. What up, Crypto News Alerts fam? One love, one love. Good to see you. What's up, Sophisticated? Good to see you. Coin Father, always a pleasure. What's new? What's poppin'? Connection this morning sucks. Oh, damn. What connection you referring to? Your connection, hopefully, not my connection. Hopefully y'all can hear me and see me clearly. Mass adoption of them Nuggets. You talking about the Denver Nuggets in the NBA there? Did they win the championship? I know they've been crushing it. Bitcoin, ATMs, they will accept foreign currencies. Who knows? No clue. Maybe it's how the ATM is installed or the software it's running and what the owner decides to do. You know what I mean? I think if I was a Bitcoin ATM, I would do, obviously people are going there for the US dollars. So I would probably have like USDT if you wanted to move from Bitcoin to Tether and from Tether to Bitcoin. That would be my solution. Some ATMs may have multiple different cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin. Like, for example, may have Ethereum, may have XRP, may have Litecoin, may have Cardano. I'm not sure. I don't have much experience in using them, but I am seeing more and more Bitcoin-specific ATMs popping up here in Puerto Rico, including my local gas station. There's Bitcoin ATMs now, so I think that's fantastic as mass adoption continues across the Americas. You know what I mean? These clowns would do anything for a vote. Well, you like to think they're smart enough, you know what I mean? So who truly knows what they're really feeling, what they're truly going to do after they're elected? But they're saying some of the right things. And, you know, we got to give credit where credit is due. Anyone preaching banning CBDCs from the state, like Governor Ron DeSantis, I got to give respect because I want nothing to do with that. And I have family who lives in Florida. Now, anyone pro-Bitcoin? I'm pro-Bitcoin. So naturally, you know, who you going to vote for if you had the opportunity to vote? Definitely not going to be Biden. It's probably the worst vote you can do. What happened to our country after Biden became president? down the tubes. And as DeSantis said, if Biden is reelected, you know, the regulators and, you know, the government can try to destroy crypto to the best of their ability. And if they can't destroy it altogether, they're going to absolutely suppress the price action. They're not going to allow a spot Bitcoin ETF, and they're going to do everything in their power to ultimately not usher in massive adoption and ultimately take that adoption to other countries, like we're seeing now with major exchanges opening up shop in Brazil, in different parts of the world, you know, as well. These clowns, yeah, they'll do anything. Welcome, Greedy Savvy 1. I am late again, fam. Going to hit rewind, so I won't be behind on the convo. And again, Lazy, I appreciate you sending me 76,000 sats. I had to even look it up. I'm like, oh my God, how much is 76,000 sats? And that's like $20, so greatly appreciate that. If I were a Republican Bitcoiner, I'd trust Vivek a lot more than DeSantis, who to me is just a hater. Word up. Coinfather says Hillary Clinton is now saying Biden's age is an issue in the next election. Isn't she like just as old as Biden? Is Biden like in his 80s? Is that not true? If he's reelected, I mean, it would be a shame to see a U.S. president in his 90s. Let's not see that, please. I love the meme Stacey Herbert shared a few weeks back, and it showed you Bitcoin being represented, you know, by what's his name, Bukele. And, you know, Bukele is a very young, handsome man. And then you have, you know, United States represented by Biden, which is the US dollar. This dude's like almost 90 years old and looks decrepit, probably should be on his deathbed. You know what I mean? So it's hilarious. You guys better vote the JFK Jr. Sounds like the one, guys. Appreciate your thoughts there. And like I said, vote someone pro-Bitcoin. I mean, I think it narrows it down there. Do not vote for anyone anti-Bitcoin would make no sense because you're really just voting for the central banking cartels at the end of the day. Now, I'm not going to put JFK down or DeSantis. There's things about both of them that are really, you know, I'm skeptical about and things that are questionable. But at the end of the day, who's pro-Bitcoin and anti-CBDC? Both of them. There's a Bitcoin show. So, you know, it is what it is. But I agree. Sometimes politicians will say anything they have to say to get a vote. This is true. What good resorts in Puerto Rico we need to visit? JV. Good question. I guess it all depends what part of the island. Very vast, you know, different climates, different, like microclimates, kind of like in Costa Rica has a tremendous amount of microclimates as well. So it depends. Are you staying on the West Coast? Are you staying on the East Coast? Are you staying in the South? Are you staying in the North? There's a great resort called, was it Isabella? In Isabella, being the city. I know I stayed there with my family a couple of years back. I had a great time. Kind of far away from where I'm at right now. But I guess it all depends. There are some nice resorts. I don't think there's even any 5-star resorts. So it's not like, you know, what's it called? Dominican Republic, you know, they have some very nice resorts out there, but nonetheless, there's some nice places to stay, and you could probably just Google it. I'm not sure off the top of my head. It does rain every day, JV. Oh, okay, so it does rain in the UK every day. Figured. It kind of, during this season, it does rain practically every day in Puerto Rico as well, but it could be quick, like 10-minute rain, nice little shower, cool off the day. If we can keep to the Constitution, we'll be fine here in the USA. Amen. Swept the LA Fakers. Oh my God, did they win every game in the championship? So congrats to the Nuggets. How many of you were expecting that? I mean, when's the last time the Nuggets won a championship? I don't even remember since I've been alive. Bukele as Bitcoin and Biden as the US dollar. Exactly. A president 1/3 the age of the United States. The future. Why would any younger generation millennial vote for a guy who's 90 years old enough to be their great-great-grandfather? Makes no sense. What's going on, Trini? Welcome. Yeah. By the next election, Biden will have forgotten which country he lives in. It seems he's already forgotten. He seems he's working for China, if you're to ask me. I'd rather just vote for an AI. We've already seen thousands of years of human behavior. 2 for 1 says, I don't blame you. We need a field like Woodstock. Greedy says they didn't win the championship. They're just going to the final. Oh, okay. So they didn't win the championship, but they're going to the finals. Word up. Good to note, and thank you for sharing that with me. TP to BTC. What does TP stand for? Do enlighten me, please. Giovanni, welcome. Salento. He says Bitcoin is freedom. You got that right. Bitcoin is freedom. Facts. And I just got 38,000 sats just zapped to me coming from the Coin Father. So he says, stack sats. The Coin Father, greatly appreciate that. I mean, means a lot to me. Appreciate that so much. I'll keep this on the shows during the live Q&A. So if anyone ever wants to zap me, guess what? YouTube won't take a piece. Whereas if you send me a super chat contribution, which I greatly appreciate as well, you have to keep in mind YouTube snatches 30%. So for every $5 somebody sends me through the YouTube super chat, YouTube as the middleman is collecting $2 and I receive $3. Whereas when you zap me some sats, I receive 100%. There's no middleman. Hallelujah, Bitcoin. Lightning Network for the win. So thank you, fam. Greatly appreciate that. Waiting for the Heat or the Celtics, says Nathan. Word up. Shout out to Miami and Boston. Oh, toilet paper, just like fiat when you said TP. That's right. Now I remember the infamous Beavis and Beavis and Butthead episode, TP for my bunghole. TP. Now I get it. Exactly. Yeah, man. Much respect, Trini. It is what it is. What do you guys think regarding Bitcoin price action at the time of the halving 11 months from now? Let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're likely to see an all-time high leading up to the halving? Considering the current all-time high we reached back in November of 2021 was roughly 69,000. And just keep in mind as well, if we only 2x for this cycle peak, which we're about to witness, probably sometime in 2025, a couple of years out. If we only 2x, that's still 138,000 Bitcoin price action. And I think that's extremely conservative and very doable. In fact, I think we're most likely for the cycle peak in 2025. If I was to guess, I'd say it's probably going to be somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000 per coin. Yes, it will melt faces. And yes, many people don't anticipate that to happen, but how can you be bearish at a time like this? You have to keep in mind, 6 freaking years ago in 2017, Bitcoin was trading at almost $20,000. 6 years ago. So this is like a deja vu ability to be able to, God giving you a second chance to stack sats, and prepare, for what's about to come. And you Bitcoiners who understand the technology, you already know. I mean, I can't be long-term bearish considering the scarcity of the Bitcoin protocol, trust nobody, verify everything. The mathematics is built in. There can only ever be 21 million. There's a finite supply. It's the first form of money with scarcity built in. There's no comparison to gold. New gold is introduced to the market each and every year, which means they introduce a new supply. So if Bitcoin was gold, then Bitcoin would be saying every year, let's introduce another million Bitcoin and yada, yada, yada. So that finite supply is what separates it from everything else. Also consider it's uncorruptible, as Kennedy Jr. pointed out in his Miami conference speech recently at the Bitcoin conference. You had the truckers, and was it in Ottawa, wherever in Canada, they were protesting, and then the authorities ultimately shut down their bank accounts and they shut their ability to receive donations. And if it wasn't for Bitcoin, they would have been absolutely effed. You know what I mean? So Bitcoin, it's censorship resistance, it's uncorruptible, and those are just some of the properties that make it untouchable and so valuable. And I think the value will continue to increase, and I think more and more people will start to recognize that. I think as more and more countries around the world start adopting the King Crypto as a legal tender, just like Bukele did in El Salvador, it's game on. And consider El Salvador is a tiny nation state. What happens when a big country like Brazil in Latin America adopts Bitcoin? And they have a huge population. I don't know the exact number offhand, but probably like 30 million people. Then what happens? We're talking about, mass adoption here. And naturally, I wouldn't expect much from the United States. But with the game theory built into the protocol, now we're witnessing it with the presidential candidates for 2024. Lo and behold, nothing can stop this Bitcoin movement. I truly believe that. Let me know what you guys think. Miami just need to win one more game. Good to note. Wish I invented into Biddy sooner. Man, more people are going to be left behind, and I'm sure I'm not going to be one of them. That's right, because you're here. You made that decision, and you're smart enough to pay attention and do something about it. So much respect to each and every one of you in the live chat tuning in daily. You know what I mean? Nathan says, waiting for the Heat or the Celtics. Jester says the Nuggets have never won a championship. Now it makes sense. I don't recall them ever winning in my life. Yeah. So good to note, if interest rates stay high when Bitcoin starts to run, more people will just opt for Bitcoin over real estate, ? I think what sailors say, Bitcoin is digital property, is digital real estate. In Manhattan, there's only so much real estate. It's all bought up. But with Bitcoin, it gives us an opportunity to purchase this digital real estate, which has the ability to be worth more than any physical real estate in the world, especially over time, considering the scarcity. Just as real estate, there's a limited, finite supply. God is not inventing more land, at least not here on Earth anytime soon. So it kind of is what it is. Let me know if you guys agree. And again, I appreciate all the contributions and stats being zapped. Greatly appreciate that. Bitcoin Trini is bullish as what? I love to hear that. Snowbirds, that is. Real estate is not a liquid asset and requires property tax payments. Also, yeah. So if you want to sell your real estate, maybe you spend $20,000, $30,000 in closing costs. It's not fun. I can transfer Bitcoin via the Lightning Network, via instantaneously, virtually for free. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to liquidate your real estate, it's very costly. It's a process. You got to deal with a lot of people and things of this nature. So in my opinion, I agree with you. There's just no comparison. Bitcoin is superior to real estate as well as gold. Bitcoin is ultimately digital gold real estate, all combined in one, but even better and more scarce. You know what I mean? Compare real estate yield to Bitcoin over the last 10 years. Yeah, Bitcoin in the last 10 years is up 20 million%. There's no comparison whatsoever. Yes, real estate is up over the past decade, but nothing like the king. And look at gold over the past decade. It's virtually at the same spot, just under $2,000 an ounce. So can we compare Bitcoin to gold? Hell no. Can you compare real estate to Bitcoin? No. I mean, they all have different properties and obviously pros and cons, but Bitcoin has all the pros of gold and real estate without any of the cons. That, my friend, makes it a no-brainer. Bitcoin has outperformed everything. That's a fact. There's no questioning that. QR code is blurry. Must be slow internet. That may be the case. My apologies if so. It kind of just is what it is. But I appreciate it regardless. So, and I'll also have to include the Lightning address for people to just send it without having to scan the code. I just haven't added that into the description. I just thought it was cool to add a QR code in there. I feel high tech, and I got to give respect where respect is due because it was Satwise Jenks who recommended putting a Lightning QR code up there. And I think it's fantastic because now every day people are zapping me sats and YouTube doesn't get a cut. Win-win. Much love and much respect. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, what else is Bitcoin going to outperform? Everything. What else is there left? And then people like to compare new-ish coins to Bitcoin, saying this is the next best thing. This is the next Bitcoin. It is not. You know what I mean? Many of these ish coins won't even be around in the years to come. It is a fact. But anyways, fam, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. And maybe, can I make this QR code bigger? I absolutely can. Bada boom, bada bing. I don't know if that helped. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Is what it is. But anyways, fam, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. We discussed Bitcoin holding 20,000 realized price as analysts eyes big moves incoming. We also discuss a first look at the Bitcoin Tower in Dubai as the developer shares its initial design. We also discussed Binance CEO CZ says the recent big deal in China development has historically led to bull runs. We also discussed breaking news. Bitfinex partnership pushes crypto adoption across Latin America, as well as Bitcoin to explode by over 75% once it overcomes this critical level. And I shared that timeline. We also discussed breaking news of Ron DeSantis vowing to protect Bitcoin during his presidential campaign launch. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below.